Good morning. My name is Heidi Medrano, Quality and Processes Manager from Banco Lafise Bancentro, Nicaragua.
Dear judging panel, I want to confirm that all the information that will be presented and explained is true and we have all the necessary permission from the general management of Banco Lafise Bancentro.
Today, I am pleased to share with you our experience with project management. The topics to be approached are who we are, our history, general structure of PMO, objectives, what do we need a PMO for, achieved goals, next steps looking to the future. Lafise Group was established in 1985, aiming to promote and facilitate financial integration among Central American countries, their companies and society by offering innovative solutions through a broad portfolio of services, allowing customers to obtain better results, greater competitiveness, and higher performance. Lafise Group is comprised of companies with diverse backgrounds ranging from investment banking, traditional banking, insurance, custom bulk warehousing, business consulting, to other related activities required for Central American countries to efficiently integrate with the rest of the world. The group currently has presence in 11 countries, including all Central America, Venezuela, Colombia, Panama, Mexico, Dominican Republic, and the United States. The dynamic expansion of Lafise Group started in 1991 with the establishment of Banco de Crédito Centroamericano Bancentro in Nicaragua, becoming a pioneer in the development of financial solutions tailored to specific customers' needs. The 90s witnessed the consolidation and growth of Bancentro. After a few years from its establishment in Nicaragua's capital, Bancentro was able to build the most extensive network of branches and automatic teller machines in the country, while innovating the state-of-the-art internet banking services, mobile and basic telephony, and establishing solid partnerships with reputable banks worldwide. Its growth and portfolio consolidation has allowed Lafise to position itself as a modern and diversified group with presence in 11 countries, 800,000 customers, more than 3,000 employees, and 140 branches and agencies. The Zamora Terán Foundation is Lafise Group's highest expression of social commitment. It was created with the purpose of obtaining a greater scope in projects that contribute to economic and social development in Central America by focusing on developing the strategic sector of education. The Zamora Terán Foundation, through its educational program One Laptop per Child, seeks to ensure high quality, relevant, and inclusive education, allowing Central America elementary school children a better future. Why do we require a PMO? The experience lead through the project development inside the institution used to be chaotic. It underwent through multiple mistakes that generated duplicity of efforts and resource requirements, breach of time, and increased investment costs. There wasn't a clear process that established responsibility over the projects for task execution or that defined role responsibilities to the task. In light of this, regional operation management and quality and process management present a proposal to general management to create a PMO in charge of the management of regulatory and strategical projects of Banco Lafise Bancentro. This proposal was emphasized to be executed under the PMI framework to increase the possibilities of success of the projects from a cost, time, quality, and resource management point of view. Who we are? Banco Lafise Bancentro's PMO is under the direction of Quality and Processes Management, and it is confirmed by three members that are focused on internal strategic project management and regional BPM projects dependent of the priority levels. The projects that are driven by Banco Lafise's PMO must be strategic, regulatory, or normative or beside BPM projects that make a direct impact on strategic milestones. Banco Lafise's PMO is not a centralized area for the institution due to existence of other areas that develop and manage their own projects. An example of these areas are the project development management shared with the maintenance, remodeling, and constructions of physical facilities, regional TI management, and products and service management. When a project includes the participation of any of these areas indicated, the PMO is in charge of managing the project while those areas take a stakeholder's role and become part of the project team. Our story. By the year 2013, the Quality and Process Management was managing BPM automation projects and ongoing improvement projects. The methodology implemented has been handled by the BPM provider and was oriented exclusively for functional and technical developments of the apps managed by the area, called Visai on Target. The documents generated at the moment were Visai Modeler, Pencil Prototypes, Visai Spec, Visai Test. Visai Modeler, the VPM notation process flow, designed to define all the business logical process and the main steps to develop the application, searching for automation over the manual tasks, including business politics. The pencil prototypes is a mock-up of the user interface used by the developer to program based on the visual and functional design at VPN tools and includes all the requirements for business. The Visai spec, this is the document that defines the project scope and basic requirements for the development of functional model of the process for automation. Visai Test is the document that specifies the technical lineup of the automatized process and includes data modeling, web services, details, and project participants. At 2014, while undergoing through the first experience of BPM project implementations, we realized we have a necessary to manage the project on more structured form after recognizing issues on the delivery schedules and changing requests for the business areas. We We initiated with project management training based on the PMBOK guide provided to the executives and quality and process management. Based on the gained knowledge, we implement over the BPM project management and process improvement the five phases for project management. initiation, planning, execution, monitoring, and project closure, and project management tools. As a result of the implementation of the P&I phases, we published an official guide for BPM project management and process improvement. After an adaptation analysis of our projects, we defined the tools to be applied: constitutional act, stakeholder registration, requirement matrix, work breakdown structure, working schedule, closing protocol, design spec, design modeler, pencil prototypes, web services supports, other documents. On June 2015, the bank's general management approved the creation of the PMO inside the Quality and Processes Management. Its main objective was to manage strategical projects, projects that have a direct impact on the strategical annual goals established for the bank, and regulatory projects established by the bank's superintendents. During 2016, we made an analysis of the project's results, finding change resistance from the users that were handling the processes. We decided to train ourselves in accordance to the HCM book published by the Human Change Management Institute. When we then incorporate change management at our projects, applying techniques and tools to monitor the human atmosphere components in a transformation process, searching to increase the possibility of success at the implementation of projects. On 2017, we received another training block in order for the PMO members to update their knowledge, focusing on a deeper exploration of the project office tool for cost and resource controls and schedule management. We then updated the project management guide to document the gained knowledge and develop procedure guides to handle cost controls and baselines using project office tools. On 2018, in recognition to the great results over the PMO at Nicaragua, Lafise's group CEO asked us to lead the BPM project management for the bank members Lafise's group in 5 countries. Due to their complexity, projects have been worked by phases. We released 2 phases in 2018 and are planning to release the last 2 phases on 2019.
Hi everybody, my name is Mauricio Peñalba. I'm a quality assurance executive of Banco Lafise Bancentro. Um, I'm gonna talk. I'm gonna talk to you about the history of the project developed by the PMO's office. We start on October 2015 when we received the first project assignment: centralization and digitalization of the clients and products records project. The project consists on building a physical digital document management center and trust to function as clients' active records warehouse for debit and credit cards, accounts, and escrow services. This project represents a big challenge due to the lack of experience over the subject. It was also a complex project, being the largest project attempt to be managed by the PMO. It lasted over 2 years with $1 million budget. It was handled through 9 sub-projects. In order to have better management and control, each sub-project has its own project leader. The 9 sub-projects were: number one, search and selection process. Number one, search and selection process of the ECM system for Nicaragua, Honduras, and Panama. By ECM system, we refer to an enterprise content management system. Number two, the implementation and training over the ECM system. Number three, classifying and debugging of the client's record for 86 financial centers. Number 4, definition and training on digitalization and submitting records process. Number 5, definition and purchasing of the equipment for the documental management center. Number 6, physical construction of the documental management center. Number 7, submitting process for the documental management center. Number 8, development system changes related to digitalization process. And number 9, requirement definition for the human selection and hiring process. In 2016, we managed 8 of the main project. The implementation of the ECM software called Ondays, a project we called Digi project that consists in document and records inspection and debugging at all branches. There were around 86 branches, 326,700 debugged records. The record submitting and centralization process, which means the transport management for the 3,427 boxes through the 36 products done. The definition, documentation, and training process of the new record digitalization process. Definition of 15 digitalization processes by product type. The development and changes over the bank systems. Development of 2 vis-a-vis process management for the integration with 3 bank systems and their required web services. The human selection and procurement process. Definition of the procurement of 19 temporary charges over 2 years and 13 permanent official charges, 1 documental management center bus, and 1 supervisor. The physical construction of the documental management center, which includes the design and the construction of the warehouse ready to receive 360,000 records or 22,000 record boxes, and the construction of the administrative personnel offices. The technical equipment acquisitions, 146 scanners for branches, high-speed scanner computers, printers, 16 racks with capacity for 22,000 record boxes, security equipment, and leathers. In 2016, we also managed 1 project for the customer service department and 1 project for Lafise Group, the presidents. In 2017, we managed 3 projects for the compliance department. The key process improvement worked on 2 phases. For the better management, the high-risk client update information, SARS Nicaragua, and the implementation of our online banking system called Bancanet 3.0 in Nicaragua. In 2018, the PMO began to work the regional projects for 5 banks of Lafise Group. These projects had a higher complexity of management due to their standing communication, which is handled by electronic channels such as email, web conference, and phone calls. We manage 2 regional projects and 4 local projects, having still 1 ongoing. Now let's talk about our pillars. The PMO has 6 main pillars that have been a key part through the years for a constant growth and to strengthen our position inside the institution. These pillars are the excellence. The pursuit of excellence urging us to practice a constant self-evaluation of the PMO management so that it can keep satisfying the needs of different areas, obtaining the highest welfare, resulting in achievement of excellent results. The commitment, our capacity to assume the objectives and scope of each one of the projects that PMO manage as one own, focusing at fulfill all the delivers based of, on the excellence that distinguish and approach us with continual improvement. Teamwork. Clear, transparent, and opportune communication with different work teams have allowed the development of methodologies and strategies to work in a more efficient manner in order to approach the initial work goals. Innovation. With the commitment to excellence, the PMO team constantly improve and make more efficient processes and management with lower variation risk, ethics and integrity. As a team commit to excellence and for the institution we work for, it's our duty to award the highest level of respect to each one of our work team, mate suppliers and clients and respect, recognizing the interests and necessities of our clients, accepting our differences, and evaluating different perspectives to be better every day. That's it's the base of our success. Now, let's talk about the training. Our pillars of excellence and innovation motivate the project team to maintain a constant training on good practices of project management by many ways, include self-learning or by attending regular and online courses. Then, we incorporate this new knowledge into our documentation, include the project management methodology manual. Then, we enforce the rest of our team members to get into new practices. As well, we enforce them to attend all training modules, courses, and webinars of Nicaragua's PMI. This is part of our continued improvement program. Now let's talk about the impact of the implementation of the PMO. The implementation of the Project Management Office meant substantial changes in how projects at Banco Lafise were handled, specifically projects of an strategic and regulatory nature. The main changes on project management were, well, at the initial process, projects start with a request to the Quality and Process Department through a system negotiation of requirements. No analysis of the strategy and alignment of the project used to be made. There was a Kickstart Act made to define the general reach of the project. Then, after we implement the PMO, we define a specific new process for requesting new projects, and this must be aligned with the organization strategy. At first, we schedule an initial meeting with everyone involved, and then we define the scope of the project as well as the estimated delivery times. The project must be approved by the process committee who signed the Kickstart Act. This one is signed as well by the project sponsor.
Hi everyone, my name is Gabriela Ampien. I'm BPM Analyst, and I'm going to continue with the impact in the implementation of the PMO. The second was the planification process. Before the PMO, in the planification stage, where only project automation endeavors were considered, only the following aspects used to be taken into consideration: functional and technical specification. This project planification was incomplete and had a merely technical nature focused more on operation. Different areas of knowledge were not considered and only time and scope qualification were important. After the PMO was implemented, it was considered that planification ought to be divided into stages: 1. Information gathering, and 2. Planification document. The first stage consists in a general layout of the project to analyze the task and its delivery. The following needs to be created during the documentation stage: 1. EDT and delivery matrix; 2. Budget; 3. Quality control; 4. Working plans; and 5. Stakeholder matrix. Execution process. Before the PMO, inactivities used to be strictly linked to technical development. In practice, there was no real project management. For this, we list 3 points. 1. No follow-up was given to the project execution. 2. No record of change were kept. These were carried out on a need-of basis. And 3. There was no justification for updates of the initial plan. The process committee did not approve the work plan. After the PMO, different tools were implemented for the execution control. 1. Periodic meetings were scheduled to analyze change in the reach of the project. 2. Follow-up meetings are registered on control cards. 3. Any updates to the work plan or a budget are registered in a quality control document. 4. Change in time and scope of the project are carried out through a change control format. 5. All details of difficult encourage is registered in situation registry format and are kept as a knowledge basis. Follow and control process. Before the PMO, no specific follow-up and control plan exists. Follow-up the project was done as part of the follow-up to the company general activities. There was a lack of control over projects in development and mostly data requested by company management were considered priority. Although advanced reports were created, the advancement between the project and the specific task were not considered to be related. After the PMO, different tools were devised for the project control execution. 1. Scheduled meetings were devised to follow up to each one of the project in the group of projects administered by the PMO. Follow-up meetings were registered through control cards. 3. Change requests to the reach of development projects were evaluated and approved. 4. Impact updates. 5. The elaboration of a Banten's report including the details of specific tasks related to the project. Closing process. Before the PMO, in a manual of methodology and projects on Visagi include a closing process. In practice, most projects were not formally delivered. 1. There was a closing ledger, but this was not always delivered. 2. Since there was no formal delivery of the project, users could technically keep requesting change to it. This negatively affected the delivery times. And 3. There was no analysis of lessons learned of each project. After the implementation of the PMO at Lafise, the closing process was standardized and established an acceptable advance to initial reach of the project was achieved. Also, we generally closing report contain learned lessons during the development of the project. Human Change Management Institute implementation. One of the critical elements when implemented the Lafise Bank PMO was the training of the change management as part of an integral management of the project. On this activity, we assure the sponsor to commit to support defined activities for the change management. Also, we map areas, project team, objective and preliminary impact, excessive task, boring and tedious work. Boring and tedious work. We define a change management strategy for the project based on the analysis of basic elements. We define a purpose, a brand, a change leader to each brand. Conduct recreational and social activities to counter the previously identified impact, as well as negative reaction or any resistance. In our case, was Digi project. For brand and logo, we create Digi. The purpose was to free space at my workstation and make my job with files more efficient. For social activity, we create competition, digital Olympic, internal project site, direct communication channel with the project director, advertising on internal media, and promo items. Also, We had rewards and incentives, and project kickoff. The project director had daily communication with change leader to motivate, clear any doubts, motivate, conflict mediation and resolution of any possible problems. Also, we received daily advance report from project leaders, so for make preventive and corrective action in the face of any delay adding branch personnel to the project team. Other point was the recognition to teamwork and reward, indicator of project management and of result to measure implementation, and finally closing ledger of the project.
The result was a successful project with 326,000 document review within planned timeframe with their respective checklists and organized to their delivery to documentation center.
Hi everyone, my name is Leonel Torres and I am a Quality Assurance Executive for Banco Lafise Bancentro. Well, this is the main process for PMO management. The request of a project can be done by General Management, Innova Area, or the company board. The request and process of project management is executed within the project flow of BPM. Once requested, the project needs to be identified if it's whether BPM Visagi, strategic project, or if it's a regulatory project. Within improvement and innovations realized, it is paramount to mention two tools developed by the PMO team, such are complexity matrix and prioritization matrix. In prioritization matrix, we establish in an objective way and through meeting key criteria which projects meet requirements to be considered strategic as well as their priority level, which therefore must be arranged by the PMO team. In the complexity matrix, we establish which knowledge areas and tools must be applied to each project. These later tools are implemented after the formalization of the project. Once the priority of the project is defined within the yearly project plans, the Quality and Processes Manager names the project manager, who will be in charge of managing the project. Additionally, on BPM Visagi projects, the Quality and Processes Manager also names the functional and technical leader of the project. The project director is in charge of arranging the processes of the project direction as established by the PMI. During the starting process, the director will write the Constitution Act with the support of the sponsor and identify the stakeholders. After the Constitution Act is approved, the director will apply the complexity matrix. With the matrix results, the project director devises all due planning. Number 1, Reach Plan. It is laid out on a Word document. Number 2, EDT. Mind Manager, PowerPoint, and Visio are used here. Number 3, Time. A timeline of activities are created on project. And number 4, Controlling expenses. Excel spreadsheets and project are used for cost control. For quality control, human resources, communication risk assessment, acquisitions, and stakeholders, matrices are also created on Excel for documenting purposes as well as organized follow-up and control of planifications. Execution process management is developed through meetings with all stakeholders and involved parties. Within Visagi, we have an automatic process to create acts and agreements that help us carry to organize and follow up all the agreements reached. Follow-up and control is documented on Excel spreadsheets designed during the planification stage. A tab was added with plans to help facilitate following up. For control purposes, over the arrangement of each one of these processes, we registered the project flow on Visagi for feedback purposes on the advancement or delay along the way. These cases are available for review by the Quality and Processes Manager to control on all projects. PMO structure at Banco Lafise Bancentro. Within the structure, the PMO is under the jurisdiction of the Quality and Processes Management Department. At IT management, we have a project executive who manages strategic technical projects. For product and services development and project development at bank branches, we have special executives managing their own projects. As we mentioned previously, when the PMO arranges projects that include among participation of special executives, the personnel from these areas become a part of the project team. Starting in 2018, we started the challenge of arranging regional BPM projects. This structure shows the existing relation between other banks within the group and the PMO for these BPM projects. In these cases, the assignment of these types of projects are done by the presidency or vice presidency at Lafise Group. On the other banks, through the quality and process area, we count with a counterpart within the projects team which assists in handling web meetings, advancement of scheduled activities in the project timeline, as well as communications with team projects in other countries. In the PMO structure, the PMIs is organized as follows: a project manager, a project executive, and a project analyst, who are all in charge of guaranteeing the execution of BPM automatization projects, strategic projects, and the due documentations of these. Project manager. Management of strategic projects, approves and names the project director, supports follow-up, development, and execution of projects, defines strategies and tasks to achieve the due project management culture within the bank itself and the Lafise Group, seeks continuous improvement, training, and innovation in process application within the project management department. Project executive guarantees the management of assigned projects based on the methodology of projects adapted for Banco Lafise and its different types of specific projects, correctly addressing interpersonal relations with internal clients, providers, subcontractors, and other areas, developing projects taking into consideration all tools and actions aimed at minimizing operational risk inherent to each project, advising all different areas within the bank on the correct application of methodologies of project management whenever this is requested. Project analyst, in charge of two important tasks. Number one, administrative management, managing and ensuring physical and electronic information and all documentation on assigned projects. Number two, operational management, documenting the methodology of projects, Constitution Acts, EDT, timeline on project, working plan, and the format of the project advance report, among others. Identifying and presenting detours as far as the baseline of the budget previously established or the original work plan on projects requiring it. PMO mission, directing projects that impact the strategic objectives of the bank using methodology approved and adapted from the PM Book Guide and the complexity criteria established on each project. Therefore, accomplishing organized and successful projects that ensure the achievement of specific objectives defined for said projects. PMO objectives. The objectives of project management are: number one, to planify, coordinate, follow up, and control strategic projects of the bank, complying with the scope, timeline, budget, and quality defined for each project. Change management, identifying for each project the required changes that may be generated within the bank and the personnel involved with the execution and the result of the project. Evaluating the impact of change management activities that ensure success after the project's closing. Promotion of a culture of project management. Incentivate and promote a growing culture of project management using the established methodologies adapted from the PM Book guidelines. Training and continuous improvement. Ensuring a continuous improvement on project management, seeking to incorporate new management techniques and or tools to accomplish management appropriate competences, as well as maintaining constant training, whether formal or self-taught within the bank's PMO. PMO services and functions. Documentation of processes, policies, procedures, and guidelines for project management. In order to apply the good international practices of project management of the PMI and adapt in our projects, 3 project management manuals have been developed, approved, and published: strategic projects, BPM projects, and improvement projects. These documents establish the policies and procedures for the management of these projects for all areas that manage projects that are not categorized as strategic. Advice on project management to the areas that require it. The different management of the bank have their own projects for the continuous improvement of their operations. When they need it, they receive support. Definition and optimization of processes. In the projects that have required within their deliverables to define new processes and optimize existing processes, the PMO, due to its expertise in processes, advises the project team to achieve efficient processes in these deliverables. Negotiation with suppliers and contracts. The process manager leads and directly supports the negotiation with suppliers and in the review in conjunction with the legal area of contracts that must be negotiated in the executed projects. Project change management. We propose, coordinate, and execute the human factor management activities in the projects, which result from the analysis of them. We establish that they require management actions to reduce the probability of resistance of the person, stress, or fear of change. Education and training. In each project, we make sure to give introductory training to project management, the methodology to be used, objectives, and benefits of following this methodology for interested parts or sponsor. Likewise, we present the project in an initial way, indicating the objectives, purpose, and benefits that we seek to achieve with the project. If the result of the project requires training for its use or implementation, we make sure to define and design the most appropriate training according to the universe of people who should receive such training and the location of them: face-to-face, guide, video, web conference, or combination. Management of project budgets and effective communications. We assume the responsibility of defining the required resources of the project, which will be obtained internally and which must be external. We look for suppliers, we define selection criteria, and we establish the cost to be budget for the acquisition of the research. The manage, with the purchasing area, the execution of the acquisitions once negotiated and approve the budget of the project by the defined instance. In the same way, we take care of effective communications between the project team and the interested parties. We establish communications channels according to the activity that we need to perform and the location of the project team. PMO results 2018. Although the PMO has grown discreetly in structure in recent years, the results and maturity has allowed it to be the lead agency in planning initiatives for the business of the institution. It should be noted that there are still areas that we should improve. With a theme of 3 people, 23 projects have been managed and closed. Of these 23 projects, 44% have had a direct impact on customer service and 41% indirectly, regarding operational issues, process optimization, innovation, and risk control. Main sponsors. We have counted with 10 sponsor areas of this project, which we generate lessons learned in the way traveled managing these projects. 75% of our projects last from 3 to 12 months. However, we have had a portfolio of projects which, given the complexity and control analysis required, we have divided into sub-projects and phases. This division into sub-projects and phases has been the result of lessons learned in the first projects worked. Results 2018. The results directly transformed internal customer services, satisfied internal clients with clear and defined tasks during the projects, education in project culture to collaborators of 10 sponsoring managements, senior management committed to project management and strengthening the PMO, external customer services, response time reduction between 20% to 100%, digitalization of records and compliance with 70% of the historic digitalization plan defined in the project plan. Achieve major credit lines for the group as a result of implementing the CERES project. Improve the customer experience with the implementation of a new versatile online platform with more products and services. Risk. Control and management in projects of operational, legal, and reputation risk. Compliance with the rules and regulations of the Superintendency of Banks. Control resistance to change, fears, and stress in the project management process. Budget control and management. Projects from $30 million to $1 billion were managed. Some projects achieved a real cost reduction between 10% to 15% versus the budget. Recognition of the project team. Recognition in public and monetary to the project team when the execution of the task required an additional effort working overtime. Recognitions up to 40% of the monthly salary. Indicators implementation of the projects. Ensure the implementation and impact of the project with the measurement of these indicators. Measurement of indicators during the period defined as pilot. General results PMO 2018. As a project office, we have expanded our experience, achieving constant learning through the success and failures documented in the lessons learned. We received positive feedback and points of improvement from interested parties and internal clients. So in 2018, we can summarize the achievements of the PMO in the following aspects: efficiency and increase of internal customer satisfactions, PMO memory for learning and taking advantage of experience, search for improvement and effectiveness in communication with the project team, interested areas bank, management of interested areas and internal clients of the group banks, which has represented a real challenge in the initial phase of the projects that has had to do with the lifting of requirements, as well as in the testing phase, given the barriers of physical distance and solving communication technical problems. Standardization of works formats in projects, maturity to new cycle projects, Innova for all campaigns, and regional BPM projects with different releases per country. Steps to follow. Number 1. Strengthen the structure of the PMO. Manage 1 or 2 additional resources for the project area. Provide training in the processes and areas of knowledge to the product and services development management. Number 2. Training and certifications. Continuous training of the project team in new agile methodologies to apply to BPM projects, PMP and CAPM certification of the project area. Develop a communication campaign to promote the culture of project management in all banks of the Lafise group. Number 3. Continuous improvement in the application of knowledge areas. Improve the risk management of projects. Manage communication more clearly, effectively, and timely when managing regional projects. Establish and provide follow-up to the evaluation process of internal customer satisfaction, sponsors, interested parties, internal customers. Number 4. Methodology of regional projects. Adapt regional projects, developing and approving the regional project methodology document, which includes feedback on the recent experience of this type of project. Feedback this methodology with the lessons learned in the phases of requirements survey, testing phases, communication management, conflict resolution, and stakeholder management and project team. The PMO is growing and it's recognized by a part of the institutions as the area that advises, guides, and manages strategic projects of the bank, in which project initiatives are included for the automation of processes that result in positive results for the business. It should be noted that there are still areas that are not convinced about the topic of project management, so the plan for 2019 and 2020 includes the following actions to continually improve and innovate to provide a better service. Well, thank you for your attention. We present to you the Quality Assurance Management Team. We are constantly involved with the PMO of Banco Lafise Bancentro, and we are compromised to work harder and be better every day. We hope you have enjoyed our presentation. Greetings.